quick overview of the game, because obviously there's not a lot of videos on the on YouTube, and you might struggle as there's not a lot of information at all about this game online. I'm just going to run you through some of the basic crafting benches, what they do, and yeah. So obviously you can see that this is a basic chest's campfire, nothing special. This is the tailor bench. You get this early on for armors, twine basically. Obviously I've upgraded to bronze chain now, but this is where you craft your twine and your armors as you unlock them. You can also downgrade hide if you get better hides. You can then downgrade them there. These are weapon benches. It's basically like a smithy on a normal, well, on any other survival game. This is where you craft all your swords and your clubs, your shields, some of your later tools. Most tools early game are built on you. Spinning wheel, obviously it's for linen early game. Architect's bench is where you build a lot of the benches and the later walls, doors, clay for example, cooking. A lot of your benches are made in here. Typically if you unlock a bench, for example building, if you unlock something, hover over it, it'll tell you where it's crafted, tell you all the stats for it, so on and so forth. So that's the architect's bench, which you can craft the furnace to smelt the copper, which is in here. Obviously you put fuel in. The better the fuel, the more that number, the higher the temperature, the better thing. Obviously if you're just cooking grass for charcoal, which is one of the best ways to get charcoal, you aren't going to have enough temperature to smelt the things that you need to smelt. Keep all of your wood ash for medicine, bandages, things like that. This is the carpenter's bench. I had to build this to build the wheelbarrow for my side mission early on, but obviously you unlock horse-drawn carts which can hold a lot more weight. I think it adds like just over 1,000 weight to your horse. They're simple to build. Obviously wooden planks are used for clay buildings, they're quite cheap. The tannery at the moment is just for raw leather, which I've only used for cooking. Is it for cooking? No, it was for the byproducts of something else. Go upstairs, see what benches we've got upstairs. Basically, obviously this is your boundary limit marker. This shows your radius and other things. Obviously you have to pay tax. Protection settings, they need setting up. You have to specifically do those times, and if you don't set them up correctly, they're not going to work. You can obviously pay coin to decrease your hostility of the animals and things in the world the more you attack them. You can pay for blessing, which gives you an error increased bonus, but obviously the cost increases. The percentage also increases, but the cost increases. This one, resource transfer. As soon as you get a boundary marker and you need to do the resource transfer mission, this is where you do that. For example, there's branches in here. It's only normally with raw materials, early game raw materials. So it tells you the price. 110 branches at £2.10 per branch is 231. Obviously I've hit my limit, but that would give you 231 gold on the spot typically. Then you've got your salt, edible salt. You need crude salt for that. You can get crude salt just randomly, but there are farms on the map that are just covered in crude salt, NPC areas. Obviously the clay earths to craft the cooking rice, which is a level 25-ish main mission. So you need the ingredients for that, most of which you need to produce in a crop plot. Obviously these are other foods and byproducts and things to build recipes. Vegetable oil, for example, it'll tell you what ingredient you need for that. You need to find the seeds. Soybean seed, I don't have any on me, there's some downstairs, but you'd need that. They need to grow the seed. These are medicines. This medicine is good for horses. As you can see, we've been crafting quite a few. It uses wildflowers. Horses can live a long time on wildflowers just on their own, but as you get on in the game and you do some PvP, you might need some medicines. Let's go outside and show you some of the other benches outside. Obviously I'm on a PvP server, so have to be careful with the doors. This is the horse tack. Basically this is where you craft all your horse things. Once you get this, you'll be able to get fine saddles, coarse leather, armour. This heavy armour is really strong for the horses. They take a big beating, but once it breaks, obviously the horse is exposed. But they are slow. In terms of horse PvP, I feel like this one's better with a two-handed bone cleave. Early game, two-handed bone cleave on this horse. 1v1. You'd like, if someone's in a heavy armour with a pole arm, they're going to struggle to heal you because they can't manoeuvre out your way, and obviously you're going to get close up and keep hitting them. Pole arm needs the range and the space. These are the stables. Obviously people leave the horses out when they're using them, but these are the stables. This is mine. So stables are personally owned. You can see all your stats for your horses in your stables. That goes to the subordinates tab. It's the same as the subordinates tab. But essentially, when your horses die, or if you just chuck all your horses in here, put food in, all the horses that are in the stables will eat the food. But when the horses die, this is where you bring the horses back to life. That's a basic mine. When you get to around level 26ish, you will not basic mines. We're using this one. We've found this one and we're using that for iron, which is our next resource that we're leveling up to, as we're on the early game ourselves, really. This is one of the guild buildings. This is the siege workshop. This is where you craft things like trebuchets, watchtowers, ballistas, flamethrowers. We've tested them. You can make your own conclusion about those types of things. But guild workshop, this is where you build all these buildings from the guild, and it shows you what you need to craft them. Obviously that's the guild bank. This is facing backwards, but this is actually the guild bank. It doesn't look the best, but it is. That's the stage station, so you could, for example, 15 copper coins to transfer these locals. You then need to pay another 15 to get them out the other side, and all the rules of the travelling will be on the right hand side. It's the same as the riverbank neutral camp. It's almost exactly the same. These are warrior tents. I haven't got a personal one, but we'll see if we can have a look into these. Basically it's emptied. These are to be rescued, so these are dead. These are the ones that are in here. You can add food, which there's food in there, and dismiss the warrior, rescue the warrior, increase the life force. I'm assuming you have to pay for that. I've never actually done it. And there's more stables. Over there are some animal pens. I needed to do a rabbit one for a mission, but I wasn't 100% sure how it worked, and the person who placed this one didn't know how it worked either. So basically that's the rabbit pen. It did have an animal in. I'm assuming it's died because there was no food in there, so I put a bit of food in first just to get the mission. This one, for example, it's got, have I got any meat on me? I've got some meat. So can I put the meat in there? No, you need raw meat. Essentially what... oh, there's raw meat there. Interesting. I'm still not 100% sure on how, so obviously I'm assuming you need so much of it. There we go. Batch feeding. 200. That's increased the food amount. You then get your fox that somebody's trapped. He obviously thinks the fox is in here, but it's not. So you put the fox back on your body, you hold E, put the animal in the pack into the building, and then click fox. Now as you look in, you can't see it, but the animal 1 mile is in there. That's its mood, that's its food, the environment, comfort, things like that. That will end up starving to death because no one's going to feed it. But yeah, so that's just a quick rundown of most of the basic workbenches on the game. I'm level 28 and that's essentially where I'm at with workbenches and things like that. So if you like the video, please give me a like, because obviously there's not many videos on the game that explain what's going on with all this stuff. Thank you.